Anthony Joshua moves through his training camp with the calm assurance of a man who already understands the magnitude of the moment and the absurdity surrounding it. Every session shows the same blend of precision and power that has defined his career, even as he prepares for an opponent many believe should not be in the ring with him. He works through explosive strength drills, fast-paced conditioning bursts, and technical footwork routines designed to sharpen every weapon he brings into a fight. Around him, his team watches closely, correcting details in his timing, reminding him to relax, to flow, to conserve power for when it matters. There is no panic in his movements, no uncertainty, only the quiet focus of a heavyweight who has fought at the highest level for more than a decade. Yet the conversation outside his gym walls has taken on a surreal quality. Jake Paul, the YouTuber-turned-boxer, continues pushing toward the biggest gamble of his career. His supporters insist he is training with intensity, building strength, improving his fundamentals, and refining the craft he adopted only a few years ago. But for every clip of him working on movement or speed, the voices grow louder questioning why he is stepping into a matchup that seems far beyond anything he has previously faced. Tommy Fury, the man who already handed Paul a loss, laughs openly at the idea that Paul could even survive a minute with Joshua. Analysts across the sport agree, repeating the same point in different ways. This is not a competitive fight, not a test, not even a fair measure of levels. It is a leap into a world Paul has not earned his way into, a world Joshua has spent years conquering. Even Eddie Hearn, Joshua's longtime promoter, is surprisingly direct about the motivation behind the fight. The offer on the table is enormous, far too big for Joshua to ignore at this stage of his career. Prizefighting has always been about two things: legacy and money. Joshua has already secured one, and the other still matters. Hearn explains that turning down an 8-figure purse for a fight that seems low risk would be unreasonable. Boxing may be a sport, but it is also a business, and big opportunities rarely come twice. He says repeatedly that Joshua has nothing to prove by taking this fight. Instead, it is simply a strategic decision, a financial win that fits into the broader picture of what comes next. But while the numbers make sense, the danger does not disappear. Experts warn that sanctioning this matchup as anything other than an exhibition crosses into uncomfortable territory. They point out that Joshua's history includes world title fights, wars with elite heavyweights, and moments of extraordinary physical intensity that Jake Paul has never even come close to experiencing. A real heavyweight punch carries consequences. A man at Joshua's size, power, and experience can end a fight with a single clean shot, and the concern is not about competition but about safety. Some insist that no commission on the planet would sanction this as a legitimate fight without rule changes, weight adjustments, or protective measures. The skill gap is too wide, the risk too high, especially when Joshua is not some past-his-prime legend but a still dangerous, still sharp two-time champion. At the same time, fans express frustration that while Joshua vs. Tyson Fury remains the dream fight, the one heavyweight showdown the world has waited years to see, the sport has again taken an unexpected detour. Instead of seeing the two British giants clash for supremacy, Joshua prepares for a crossover spectacle that feels more like business than legacy. Analysts explain that politics, contract obstacles, and timing have slowed the Fury negotiations for years. In contrast, fighting Jake Paul is simple. It requires no complicated agreements, no network battles, and no long discussions between promoters. It is quick, easy, and incredibly profitable. And with Joshua coming off a long period of inactivity, Hearn insists he needs to get back in the ring regardless of who stands in front of him. Inside the boxing world, reactions continue to vary. Derek Chisora confidently predicts that Joshua will end the fight in a single round. Others believe the matchup cannot go past 3 without raising serious questions. David Haye warns that while Joshua should dominate, boxing is a sport where anything can happen if a fighter becomes careless. But even he admits the chances of Paul winning are almost non-existent. The difference in pedigree is simply too large. Joshua is not an aging veteran running on fumes. He is still powerful, still fast, still technical, still capable of shutting down an opponent within seconds if he lands clean. Tommy Fury's comments echo throughout the discussion, full of disbelief at the mere thought of Paul stepping in with Joshua. Fury repeats that if he could beat Paul, then Joshua, with all his tools and physical advantages, would destroy him with ease. He insists that the matchup is not competitive on any level and that Paul's push toward it feels almost comedic. The idea that Paul, who struggled against a smaller and less experienced opponent, could withstand the power of a heavyweight champion seems unreasonable to anyone who understands the sport. Still, Jake Paul continues to push the narrative, leaning on his massive audience and the spectacle he knows how to create. His rise in the sport has been built on attention and entertainment as much as technique. His willingness to challenge bigger names brings views, money, and headlines. And for Joshua, who is searching for both a tune-up fight and a payday that fits his stature, the timing could not be more convenient. Boxing fans may argue, debate, or criticize the match, but the reality is clear. The financial reward has made it all but impossible for Joshua to walk away. As the fight draws closer, the discussion around safety, legacy, and entertainment continues. Some argue Joshua risks diminishing his career by stepping in with a YouTuber. Others insist the decision makes sense when money, preparation, and business are all factored in. But beneath all this noise, one truth remains unchanged. If Joshua lands clean, the contest ends instantly. No build-up, no slow breakdown, no back-and-forth rounds. A heavyweight punch from a man who has knocked out champions does not compare to anything Jake Paul has encountered. And as the world waits, curiosity grows, not because the fight is competitive, but because it is bizarre, unexpected, and bound to capture global attention. The spectacle alone guarantees massive viewership, huge numbers, and conversation that will not stop until the bell rings. If you're watching this, what do you think? Should this fight even happen, or is it crossing a line boxing should not cross? Do you believe Jake Paul deserves a chance at a heavyweight, or is this simply business at its most extreme? Let me know in the comments, share your thoughts, and tell me what matchup you'd rather see next for Anthony Joshua. And before you go, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another breakdown just like this.